Hello students, in this video now I am going to explain about the resonance or mesomerism. Actually slight difference is there between resonance and mesomerism, but we can consider them as the same phenomenon. The difference is very slight, so that's why we can consider them as the same phenomenon. Okay, so in order to understand, first of all, we have to understand conjugation and the types of the conjugations. Okay na? So the conjugation can be easily understood by taking some examples and the types of the conjugation only. Okay na? Actually here conjugation means the separation of multiple bond means it may be a double bond. Multiple bond means a double bond, or it may be a triple bond. So if a multiple bond, that means a double bond or a triple bond is separated by another multiple bond, that means double bond or triple bond, either or electron pair like this, or if a multiple bond is separated by odd electron, or if a multiple bond is separated by a positive charge, or if a multiple bond is separated by a negative charge with one sigma bond, then we call that situation as the conjugation. So separation of one multiple bond with another multiple bond, conjugation of one multiple bond with another multiple bond, or electron pair, or odd electron, or a positive charge or a negative charge by a sigma bond is known as the conjugation. So here among the different types of the conjugation, first type is the pi conjugation. So look here, this is one pi bond and this is another pi bond. These two pi bonds are separated by a single sigma bond. Here separation should be done by a single sigma bond. In that case we call it as the conjugation. So here two pi bonds are now separated by a single sigma bond. Here the situation is called as the pi conjugation. Here in this example also, this is the second example. Okay, in the second example also, look here, first pi bond, second pi bond, third pi bond. These first and second pi bond are separated by a single sigma bond, and in the similar way, second and third pi bond are also separated by a single sigma bond. If two pi bonds are separated by more than one sigma bond, we don't call it as the conjugation. Okay, now we go for the third example, that is the benzene ring. In this benzene ring, look at, this is first pi bond, second pi bond, and third pi bond. First and second are separated by one single sigma bond. Single sigma bond is there between these two pi bonds, and in between this and this pi bond, single sigma bond is there. So here two pi bonds are separated by a single sigma bond. So such situation is known as the pi conjugation. Pi conjugation. Like that, we go for the another type of the conjugation. Look here, this is the positive and pi conjugation. Okay, here one pi bond and one pi bond and one positive charge. Pi bond and positive charge are separated by a single sigma bond. So this is known as the positive and pi conjugation. This is known as the allyl carbocation. Allyl carbocation. Like that, this is another carbocation. Okay. So here positive charge is separated by a double bond with a single bond, and this double bond is separated with another double bond with a single bond. This is known as pi conjugation. But whereas look here, this sigma positive charge and this pi bond are separated by a single sigma bond. So this is known as the pi positive conjugation. Positive pi conjugation. So this is second type of conjugation. Now we go for the third type of the conjugation. That is the negative charge and pi conjugation. Negative charge and pi conjugation. So look here, my dears, this is a negative charge, okay na, and this is a pi bond. This is a negative charge and this is a pi bond. So here both these are separated by a single sigma bond. Such situation is known as the negative charge pi conjugation. And here also negative charge is separated by a pi bond with a single sigma bond. So this is also negative charge pi conjugation. And this pi bond in turn is in conjugation with another pi bond. So this conjugation is prolongs in the chain like this. Okay na? So this is negative charge pi conjugation. Now you go for the odd electron pi conjugation. Odd electron means base number electron. Okay na? So look here, this is allyl carbon ion, allyl free radical. In this allyl free radical, this is odd electron and this is pi bond. This is odd electron and this is pi electron. So here odd electron and pi bond are separated by a single sigma bond. Such situation is here known as the odd electron pi conjugation. This is also odd electron pi conjugation. And in the second example, this pi bond is in conjugation with another pi bond. So here like that we have the next one more conjugation, that is the electron pair and pi conjugation. You can here this vinyl amine. What is that? Vinyl amine. In this vinyl amine, look here, on the nitrogen one electron pair is there, and in between two carbon atoms one double bond is there. So these two are separated by a single sigma bond. So this is known as the electron pair pi conjugation. Electron pair pi conjugation. This is also electron pair pi conjugation. Look here. Here on the hydrogen atom, 3 electron pairs are there, and one of these 3 electron pair undergoes conjugation with this pi bond. These electron pairs are separated by this pi bond with a single sigma bond. Such situation is here called as the electron pair pi conjugation. So like that we have the 5 types of the conjugation. First one is the pi conjugation. First one is the pi conjugation. Second one is the pi positive charge conjugation. Third one is the pi electron pair conjugation. Fourth one is the pi negative charge conjugation, and fifth one is the pi and odd number of electron conjugation. So like that we have the pi types of conjugation: pi conjugation, pi and positive charge conjugation, pi and electron pair conjugation, pi and negative charge conjugation, pi and negative charge conjugation. This is negative charge. Okay na? And pi and odd number of electron conjugation. So like that we have the pi types of conjugation. Conjugation means, once again I am giving the definition: separation of a multiple bond. Preparation of a multiple bond. That multiple bond may be a single bond or a double bond, or that multiple bond may be a triple bond. So separation of a multiple bond with another multiple bond, or a lone electron pair, or a single electron, or a positive charge or a negative charge with one single sigma bond is known as the conjugation. I say once again the definition: conjugation means separation of a multiple bond with another multiple bond, or electron pair, or a single electron, or a positive charge or negative charge by a single sigma bond is known as the conjugation. This is very important. Okay na? This is conjugation. Now we go for the different points that are to be remembered during about the conjugation. Look at first note point is that if any conjugate position has more than one pi bond, then only one pi bond will take part in the conjugation. Look at in this example, this is a double bond, and this is a triple bond. In triple bond we have the 2 pi bonds, but at a time only one of the pi bond participates or retains in the conjugation with the pi bond of the double bond. So this is the first point. All the pi bonds do not participate in the conjugation at a time. So this is the first point. And we go for the second note, that if any conjugate position has more than one lone pair, then only one lone pair will take part in the conjugation. Now look here. Here in this we are having only one electron pair. So automatically this electron pair lies in conjugation with this multiple bond. This is one conjugate position and this is another conjugate position. Okay. But whereas in this vinyl ether, methyl vinyl ether. On the oxygen atom, we have the two lone electron pairs. So these two lone pairs do not lie in conjugation with this 5 bond at a time. Only one of the lone electron pair lies in conjugation with this 5 bond. So that is the point we have to remember. And here in this example, in the vinyl chloride, this is known as the vinyl chloride. On the chlorine atom, we have the three lone electron pairs. But at a time, only one of these three lone electron pairs lies in conjugation with this multiple bond. Okay, all the electron pairs do not lie in conjugation with this 5 bond. So whatever may be the number of the lone pairs, but only one lone electron pair lies in conjugation with the 5 bond. That point we have to remember. And we go for the third point, that if any conjugate position has 5 bond and any one of the following, that means along with the 5 bond, if the atom or species possess the positive charge or negative charge or odd electrons or lone electron pairs, then only 5 bond will take part in the conjugation. That positive charge or negative charge or odd electron or lone electron pair is not going to participate in the conjugation. Here in this picture, we can see the pyridine. In pyridine, on the nitrogen atom, one lone electron pair is there. Look here. Look here. One lone electron pair is there. And this nitrogen is forming one pi bond also. So nitrogen is having one lone pair as well as the pi bond. So if this is the situation, now look at this pi bond as well as this lone electron pair are in conjugation with this pi bond. Look at this pi bond. Okay, na? So this pi, look here. This pi bond are separated by a single sigma bond. In the similar way, this pi bond and this electron pair are separated by a single sigma bond. So here this pi bond as well as this lone electron pair are in conjugation, are able to lie in the conjugation with this pi bond. But only if the situation is like this, only this pi bond participates or lies in the conjugation with the pi bond. Okay, that point we have to remember. Now we go for the fourth point. Key atom of the aromatic compound will be conjugate position if it has pi bond or positive charge or negative charge, or the odd electron or lone electron pair. Look here, this is the aromatic benzene ring. Okay, benzene ring means nothing but aromatic ring. And this G is the group or atom that is attached directly to the benzene ring. So this G atom comes into conjugation with the benzene ring, 5 bonds of the benzene ring, if it has the positive charge or negative charge or lone electron pairs or odd electron. So if it contains either positive charge or negative charge or electron pair or single electron or lone pair, then definitely that atom comes in conjugation with the 5 bond of the benzene ring. So for example, in the aniline, one electron pair is there on the nitrogen atom of the aniline. So now look here, this lone pair lies in conjugation with this 5 bond. This lone pair and this 5 bond are separated by a single sigma bond. So that means here this nitrogen is in a conjugation with this benzene ring. Okay, na? And now we go for the next node, that is the fifth node. If a positive charge is present on the nitrogen atom, then that positive charge will not be in conjugation with the ring because in this case nitrogen will become pentavalent. We know very well that nitrogen will never become a pentavalent atom, no, because it has no sufficient orbital, empty orbitals to accommodate the lone electron pairs. So that's why nitrogen will never become pentavalent in its compounds. The maximum covalency of the nitrogen is 4 only. Nitrogen maximum covalency is 4 only. It cannot become 5 covalent compound. Okay na? So that's why this positive charge of the anilinium ion, this positive charge of the anilinium ion do not participate in the conjugation with the benzene ring. Even though these two are separated by a single sigma bond, there is no choice or no scope for the conjugation, because nitrogen will not become a pentavalent species. Okay. Now we go for the note 6. Look here, on the benzene ring, one carboxylic acid group is there, and in between this pi bond of the this pi bond of this carboxylic acid group, as well as the this double bond, one single sigma bond is there. That means two are separated by a single sigma bond. Even though they are separated by a single sigma bond, there is no possibility for the conjugation, because benzene ring lies in the plane. Benzene ring lies in the plane, whereas the carboxylic acid group may lie perpendicular to that benzene ring. As a result, there is no scope. That means carboxylic acid group and look here, this carboxylic acid group and benzene ring do not lie in the same plane. They do not lie in the same plane. For the conjugation to occur, all the species should lie in the same plane. Otherwise, conjugation is not possible. So, due to the geometry of the carboxylic acid, that means that is known as steric effect, there is no possibility for the conjugation. Next, note 7. Electrons of negative charge or lone pair behave as 2 pi electrons if it is in the conjugation to a pi bond. Look here. This example is known as the pyrrole. Okay, na? Name of this compound is known as the pyrrole. In pyrrole, the electron pair of the nitrogen is in conjugation with the 2 pi bonds. No? So, if the situation is like this, then this lone pair is considered as the pi bond only. Okay, na? So, by considering it as the pi bond, the aromaticity of this compound can be explained. So, if the situation is like that, then we say that we consider this lone electron pair as the pi bond only. This lone electron pair as the pi bond. This lone pair is considered as the pi bond. Okay. Now we go for the concept of the resonance or mesomerism. Resonance or the mesomerism. Okay, na? So for the resonance to occur, for the mesomerism to occur, conjugation is a necessary condition. Okay, na? So first point is that conjugated electrons migrate from one conjugate position to the other conjugate position. Thus, conjugated electrons are delocalized electrons, and that conjugated compounds are called as the delocalized compounds. So, when conjugation is there, for example, look here. Look here, I am writing here allyl carbocation. Okay, na? So there is a conjugation between the positive charge, this positive charge, and this pi bond. Okay, na? So what happens? This negative, this pi bond electrons may migrate towards to this bond, and as a result, what happens now? A pi bond will be formed in between this first carbon and the third carbon, and third carbon is going to form the carbocation like this. Okay, na? So when there is a conjugation, the migration of the electron pairs to take place. So these structures are known as now delocalized electrons. These pi bond, now these electrons, these pi bond electrons, now we call them as the delocalized electrons, and we can consider these compounds as the delocalized compounds. So the electrons which are in conjugation may migrate from one conjugate position to the other conjugate position, and as a result we can consider this conjugate electrons as delocalized electrons, and we can consider that conjugated compounds as the delocalized compounds. Conjugated compounds can be represented by two or more than two possible structures. Due to their localization of the conjugated electrons, delocalization of the conjugated electrons, all the possible structures are known as the resonating structures. When the electrons of the conjugated structures move from one conjugated point to the another conjugated point, they form different structures. These different structures are known as the resonating structures. And the real structure of the conjugated compounds is a hybrid of all resonating structures. That means here no single structure is able to explain the actual properties of the compound or the conjugated species. So that's why we take the help of we consider all the structures of the conjugated species in order to explain the properties of the given species. And those structures here called as the resonating structures, and the relation between them is here called as the resonance or mesomerism or delocalization. Due to delocalization, we observe the resonance, and that means changing of the positive and charges and the electrons we observe. Okay, na? And by taking the help of all these structures, we can explain the actual properties of the compounds. Okay, na? So the actual compound is here considered as the hybrid of the all resonating structures. Hybrid of the all resonating structures. The resonating groups or mesomeric groups are classified into two types. First one of them is the plus R or plus Me groups. Second one of them is the minus R minus Me groups. So the plus R or plus Me groups means the groups which increase the electron density in the carbon chain are considered as the plus R or plus Me groups. So generally the halogen atoms, oxygen atoms, and the functional groups in which nitrogen is present, that means amines, amides, all these act as the plus R or plus Me groups, because in halogens, on the halogen atoms, as well as on the oxygen atoms, as well as on the nitrogen atoms, we have the electron pairs. That's why these are known as the what is that plus Me group or plus R groups. Okay, na? So the functional group in which halogen, oxygen and nitrogen are there are called as the plus R or plus Me groups. Okay, and minus R or minus Me groups means the groups which decrease the electron density, which remove the electron density from the hydrocarbon chain, are called as the minus R or minus Me groups. These groups withdraw electron density from the carbon chain or carbon ring. So that's why these groups are known as the minus R or minus Me groups. Generally, these groups contain nitrogen, carbon or sulfur, okay na, which indirectly connected to the more electronegative elements like oxygen or nitrogen. For example, you see the nitro group. In nitro group, this nitrogen is attached to the more electronegative elements like oxygen atoms. So these more electronegative atoms drag the electron pairs towards them. As a result, positive charge develops on this nitrogen atom. As a result, it withdraws the electron density from the carbon chain or carbon ring. So that's why nitro group act as the minus R group. In the similar way, in between carbon and nitrogen of the cyanide group, a triple bond is there, and we know very well that nitrogen is a more electronegative element. So it withdraws the electron, it drags the electron pairs towards it. As a result, nitrogen gets a negative charge and this carbon gets the positive charge. And this positive charge drags the electron pair from the carbon chain or a carbon ring. That's why the cyanide also act as a minus R or minus Me group. So all the groups in which the atom which is linked with the for example, the atom which is linked with the carbon chain or carbon ring, if it is attached to a more electronegative atoms like oxygen or halogen or nitrogen, then that group act as minus R or minus Me group. Look here, in one trihalo alkyl group, for example, CF3 is also a minus R or minus Me group. Okay, because here fluorine is more electronegative atom. So this CF3 group or CCl3 group or CX3 group also act as the minus R or minus Me group. Now we go for the effect of the resonance. Due to the resonance, the bond length, bond strength and stability will also change. For example, you see here the actual CC single bond distance is 154 picometers, and in angstrom it is in angstrom unit it is 1.54 angstroms. 1.54 angstroms. In angstroms it is 1.54, but in picometers it is 154 picometers. And the double bond distance is the 133 picometers, otherwise 1.33 angstroms. Okay, and the CC bond distance in benzene is in between these two extreme lengths, that is 140 picometers, that means 1.4 angstroms. That means the CC bond in between is neither a single bond nor a double bond. It shows both the character due to the mesomerism or resonance. Okay na? Due to resonance or mesomerism, this carbon, the CC bond feels a partial double bond character. So that's why it shows the intermediate bond length, that is the 1.4 angstroms or 140 picometers. Now here we go for the stability of the resonating structures. Okay na? So neutral species is more stable. Look here, among all the possible conjugated structures or resonating structures, neutral species is more stable than the charged species. Okay na? For example, look here, what is it, you take vinyl chloride. Look here, this is the vinyl chloride. In vinyl chloride, look here, there is no charge on any atom, but whenever it involves in the resonance, what happens, we observe the positive charge on the carbon, negative charge on the carbon atom, and we observe the positive charge on the chlorine atom. Look here, as the chlorine donates its lone electron pair, positive charge appears on the chlorine atom, and as this bond electron pair shifts onto this carbon atom, it gets the negative charge. So here this species, this conjugated structure is having positive as well as the negative charges. So compared to this second structure, this positive structure is very stable, because in this positive structure, what is that, there is no charge. In this first structure, there is no charge on any species. This is a neutral species. Structure 1 is a neutral species. So that's why vinyl chloride neutral structure is more stable than the species that is having charges on it. Okay, so that is the first example, and we go for the second point, that species having complete octet is more stable than the species having incomplete octet. So among the possible structures, the structure in which all the atoms have the octet is more stable than the other structures. For example, okay, for the SL carbocation, here we are having the two structures, SL carbocation. Okay, so in the structure 1, look here, this is the structure 1. In the structure 1, what is that? In the structure 1, so in the structure 1, carbon is having 6 electrons only, whereas the oxygen is having 8 electrons. That means carbon is not satisfied with octet. And in the second structure, that means in this structure, carbon as well as the oxygen all are satisfied with the octet rule. So that's why second structure is more stable than the first structure. Second structure is more stable. Now we go for the fourth point, that resonating structures with we go for third point. Look here, if all the structures have formal charges, then the most stable one is that in which the positive and negative charges are received on the most electropositive and most electronegative atoms of this species. Look here, if the resonating structures or conjugated structures have some charges on them, then the species in which negative charge is there on the most electronegative atom, and the species in which positive charge is there on the more electropositive atom are more stable. For example, look at, we have the two resonating structures for the formic acid. Structure 1 and structure 2. In the structure 1, look here, on the oxygen, more electronegative oxygen atom, we are having positive charge, and here oxygen is there, a negative charge is there on the oxygen atom. And in the structure 2, we observe the positive charge on the more electronegative oxygen atom, and negative charge on the carbon atom. Okay, so structure 1 is more stable than the structure 2, because in the structure 2, on the carbon atom, which is more electropositive, is bearing negative charge, and the oxygen atom, which is more electronegative atom, bears a positive charge. So that's why it is less stable, and structure 1 is more stable. Now we go for the fourth point, that resonating structures with a greater number of covalent bonds are more stable. And fifth point is that increase in the charge separation decreases the stability of the resonating structures. Okay na? Fifth point says that increase in the charge separation decreases the stability of the resonating structure. For example, here we can see the different possible structures for the phenol. Okay na? First one is the first structure 1. Structure 1 is a neutral one. This structure 1 is a neutral species. This is structure 2, and this is the structure 3, and this is the structure 4. And structure 2, structure 3 and structure 4 are having charges on them. So here in the structure 2, uh, positive charge and negative charge are separated by the two bonds, whereas the what is that, in the structure 3, positive charge and negative charge are separated by 1 2 3 4 bonds, and in the structure 4, positive charge and negative structures are separated by the two bonds. That means in the structure 2 and in the structure 4, negative charge and positive charge are separated by only two bonds. So that's why these two are having same stability and more stable than the third structure. And because in the third structure, charge separation is very high, so that's why it is less stable. So we can say that among all the possible resonating structures, the structure in which charge separation is very less is more stable compared to the other species. Now the resonance affects the bond length, bond strength, and the reactivity and stability also. And we have these relations. Look here. For example, bond length is indirectly proportional to the number of resonating structures. If the number of resonating structures increase, then bond length also increases. Bond length increases. And as with increase in the number of the resonating structures, bond strength increases. Okay na? So bond length decreases if the number of the resonating structures increases, bond length decreases, and bond strength increases. And with the increase in the number of resonating structure, reactivity decreases. If the number of the resonating structures increases, reactivity decreases. We know very well that with the increase in the number of resonating structures, bond length decreases, bond strength decreases. As a result, reactivity decreases. If the bond strength increases, then the energy required to break that bond requires, no? So then the reactivity decreases. Now the resonance affects the stability of the conjugated compounds. Look here I have already told that stability increases with the increase in the number of resonating structures. So stability increases with the increase in the number of the resonating structures. So thus resonance, that means conjugation, affects the bond length, bond strength, reactivity, and the stability. Look here, compared to a non-conjugated compound, conjugated compound is generally more stable. Look here, this one is a non-conjugated compound, and this one is a conjugated compound. Here two pi bonds are separated by two single bonds. Here two pi bonds are separated by a single sigma bond. So that's why there is in the second structure, that means in this structure there is a possibility for the resonance. As a result, what happens, the charge is not beared for the long time by the atoms. As a result, conjugated species due to resonance become more stable. But in the non-conjugated situation, compounds, the bonded atoms have to bear the charges. As a result, non-conjugated atoms become less stable. So these are less stable. Now look here, and look here, my dears. Yeah, this is aromatic ring. In aromatic ring, bonds are pi bonds are conjugated with one another, and this is also a straight chain conjugated bond. Straight chain conjugated non-aromatic compound, conjugated aromatic compound. Aromatic compounds are nothing but conjugated compounds only. So compared to the conjugated non-aromatic compounds, aromatic compounds are more stable. Now the stability of the conjugated compounds lies in this order. Look at, aromatic compounds are more stable than the conjugated non-aromatic compounds, which in turn are more stable than the non-conjugated compound. And non-conjugated compounds are more stable than the anti-aromatic compound. So this is the stability order of the conjugated compound stability. So among all the conjugated compounds, aromatic compounds are most stable compounds. Aromatic compounds are most stable compounds, and anti-aromatic compounds are least stable compounds. Aromatic lies one side and the anti-aromatic compounds lies on the other side. So this point we have to remember. So aromatic, conjugated, non-conjugated, and anti-aromatic. Okay, na? That we have to remember. Basicity, resonance or conjugation also affects the basicity of the compounds. So ammonia is a base, we know very well that, due to the presence of the lone electron pairs. In the aniline also, lone electron pair is there. Look here. In ammonia, lone electron pair is there, and on the aniline also, lone electron pair is there. But compared to the aniline, ammonia is strong base, because in aniline, the electron pair lies in conjugation with the 5 bonds of the benzene ring, and the possible resonance structures are shown here. And due to the resonance structures, what happens? Nitrogen gets positive charge. That means the electron density on the nitrogen of the aniline decreases due to the resonance. As a result, anilines are weak bases than the ammonia. Anilines are weak bases than the ammonia. And look here, we have to remember one more point, that basicity is indirectly proportional to the number of the resonating structures. As the number of the resonating structure increases, basicity decreases. Look here in this aniline, only one phenyl group is there, and the number of resonating structure is 4. And this is the diphenylamine. In diphenylamine, number of resonating structures is 7. And in the triphenylamine, number of resonating structures is 10. So here the number of the resonating structures is increasing from aniline, that means phenylamine or benzenamine or aminobenzene, to the triphenylamine. So as a result, the basicity also decreases. Okay, basicity decreases. So basicity decreases with the increase in the number of the resonating structures. Inverse relation is there between the basicity of the anilines and the number of the resonating structures. Here now we go for the stability of the carbocations. Stability of the benzyl carbocations. Okay, so generally stability increases with the increase in the number of the resonating structures. Okay, na? So this is first one is the here allyl carbocation. This is allyl carbocation. So in the allyl carbocation, only 2 resonating structures are possible. And for the benzyl carbocation, 4 resonating structures are possible. That means 4 structures are there to bear the positive charge. And in the diphenyl, this is third one is the diphenyl methyl carbocation. That is the diphenyl methyl carbocation. 7 structures are possible. And fourth one is the triphenyl methyl carbocation. So for the triphenyl methyl, so here we should not write H. Okay, H is written wrongly. So we have the 10 resonating structures. So that means in the triphenyl, in this triphenyl methyl carbocation, 10 structures are there to bear the positive charge. As a result, this one becomes most stable compared to the other benzyl carbocations. Okay. Now, the stability of the benzyl carbocation depending on the other second substituted groups changes. For example, here look here, nitrobenzyl carbocations. Nitrobenzyl carbocations. Among the nitrobenzyl carbocations, meta-nitrobenzyl carbocation is more stable than the para-nitrobenzyl carbocation, and para-nitrobenzyl carbocation is more stable than the ortho-nitrobenzyl carbocation. That means this is the most stable one, because look here nitro group act as minus I group as well as the minus R group, minus I as well as the minus R group. Okay, and so actually the order is written in a wrong manner. That is actually it is OPM, because nitro group is a minus R as well as minus I group. No? So this group, this order is more effective when it is present in the ortho position. Okay, na? So ortho is more stable than the para derivative, and para derivative is more stable than the meta derivative, because when it lies in the meta position, it cannot withdraw electron density sorry, okay. Sorry, my nitro group act as the minus I group as well as the minus NO2 group. Okay, na? So that means presence of the nitro group increases the positive charge on the cations. So actually the carbocation becomes more stable if its charge is removed, no? But here the nitro group is doing in a reverse manner. That means it destabilizes the carbocations, and the minus I and minus I R effects are less when it is present in the meta position. That means meta-nitrobenzyl carbocation is more stable than the other two carbocations. Okay, and nitro group shows its minus I and minus R effect, minus I effects very strongly when they lie in the para positions. That means parabenzyl carbocation is least stable than the orthobenzyl carbocation. Okay, now so this is the order, and like that we can analyze the stability of the other benzyl carbocations also. So methyl carbocation is plus I plus I as well as the plus R group. Okay, na? And methoxy group is also, but methoxy group here is a what is that, minus I and plus R group. So methoxy group is a minus I and plus R group. So that's why the stability of the benzyl carbocation having the methoxy substance is like this. So para-methoxybenzyl carbocation is more stable than the ortho-methoxybenzyl carbocation, and ortho-methoxybenzyl carbocation is more stable than the meta-methoxybenzyl carbocation. So whether it may be plus inductive effect or resonance effect or mesomeric effect, we observe the minimum plus and plus inductive effect, minimum inductive and resonance effects when the group lies at the meta position. Now we go for the stability of the benzyl carbon ions. In carbon ions, negative charge is there on the carbon atoms. And in the first case, nitro group, we are having the nitro group as the substituent groups. Okay, na? We know very well that nitro group is minus I and minus R group. It acts as both minus I and minus R group. That means this minus I or minus I group decreases the negative charge. So here presence of the nitro group increases the stability of the carbon ions. That means nitro benzyl carbon ion is more stable than the simple benzyl carbon ion. And among all these substituted nitro substituted benzyl carbon ions, we have to find out which species is more stable one. And nitro group shows effectively its minus I and minus R group when it is present in the ortho as well as in the para positions. But compared to the para position, ortho position is more effective. That means ortho benzyl carbon ion is more stable than the benzyl carbon ion. And compared to these two, meta nitrobenzyl carbon ion is least stable because nitro group on the meta position does not show its minus I and minus R effects effectively. Okay, na? So that's why the stability order of the benzyl carbon ions is ortho is greater than para, derivative is greater than the meta derivative. Now we go for the stability of the benzyl carbon ions in which methyl group is substituted. We know very well that methyl group is a plus I and plus R group. That means they push the electrons into the benzene ring or into the carbon ring or carbon part. Okay, na? So they increase the electron density. If the electron density increases, then the stability of the carbon ions decreases. No, that means the compared to the benzyl carbon ions, methyl substituted benzyl carbon ions are least stable. So and among all these methyl substituted benzyl carbon ions, which one is most stable, we have to find out, and which one is the least stable, we have to find out. And we know very well that the inductive effect and resonance effect are shown with less effectiveness when the group is present in the meta position. So here metamethyl benzyl carbon ion should be most stable among all these three. Okay, na? So that's why we will write it first. And among the ortho and para becomes the most stable than the ortho-methyl benzyl carbon ion, because when the methyl group lies in the ortho position, it shows strong effect on the benzene ring. So it shows strong plus I and plus R groups when it lies in the ortho position. So the plus I and plus R effect of the methyl group is very strong when it lies on the ortho position. So that's why ortho substituted benzyl carbon ion becomes least stable. Okay, so that's why this is the order. Okay, my dears. And we go for the methoxy substituted benzyl carbon ions. We know very well that methoxy group is a what is that? Minus I group. Methoxy group, Ramachandra. Minus I group and plus R group. Methoxy group act as the minus I and plus R group. So plus R effect decreases the stability, minus I effect increases the stability. But anyhow, these two effects are nil when they lie, when the methox group lies at the meta position. So that's why we can say that meta-methoxy benzyl carbanion is more stable than the other two species. And among the artha and para, these effects are strong when they lie at the artho position, no? So that's why but what is that? Plus R effect is less when it lies in the artho position. Plus R group effect is strong when it lies in the meta position. So that's why artho is more stable than the para species. Now we go for the acidity of the phenols. Look here. We know very well that alcohols and phenols both act as the acids because they dissociate like this and release the H plus ions. This is alkoxide ion and this is the phenoxide ion. And compared to the alcohols, phenols are strong acids because alkoxide is not stabilized, whereas the phenoxide ion is stabilized by the resonance structures like this. Okay, so phenol is a strong acid than the alcohols. Phenols are strong acids than the alcohols due to these resonance structures. And here we can observe the effect of the methyl, nitro and methoxy groups on the phenols in different ways. Okay, na? So here we have to remember that plus methyl group is a plus I and plus R group. Nitro group is a minus I and minus R group. And methoxy group is a what is that? Minus I and plus R groups. So while explaining the acidity of the phenols, we have to consider these points. Okay. And this is the acidity of the halophenols. So in the halophenols, artho derivative is more acidic than the meta derivative, and the meta derivative is more stable than the para derivative, which in turn is more acidic than the phenols. So this is the acidity order of the fluorophenols. We know very well that fluorine is a what is that? Fluorine is a fluorine is a minus I and plus R effective group. Okay, na? So plus R and minus I. Plus R effect decreases the acidic character. Minus I effect increases the acidic character. Okay, so actually fluorine does not act as the minus effective group because fluorine itself is a strong and we go for the acidity of the carboxylic acid. So here different groups affect the acidity of the carboxylic acids in different ways, and while explaining the acidities we have to consider its plus I and inductive effective and mesomeric effect of the substituted groups. And these are the orders in which basicity of the enlins is affected by the substituted groups. Okay, na? Thank you.